Can someone find an Atlanta Falcon anywhere? Can someone find me Matt Ryan? Can someone find me Raheem Morris, Julio Jones, Russell Gage, Deion Jones, Oluwakan? Can someone find some of these Atlanta people? Because I can't seem to find them after they got swept under the rug, courtesy of the tight end Taysom Hill. What's good, everybody? It is the one and only Who Dat Davis here. And if you don't know, you will know that over here, we bleed black and gold until we are dead and cold. Thank y'all for joining me this morning for my final thoughts on the S.O.B.G podcast over here, also known as the State of Black and Gold podcast. We are in Victory Monday. Happy Victory Monday to everybody in the Who Dat Nation. It is a lovely, lovely morning. It was a bit of another nail biter. It was another nail biter, but we should always expect these type of nail biters when you're playing against the Atlanta Falcons. I've gotten a lot of thoughts, I've gotten a lot of opinions for everybody around in the Saints Twitter, Saints media, from WDN chat line to the one and only TJ Jones at the State of the Saints podcast. His is going on right now, by the way, so don't be afraid to go give him some looks. To Jerry Poor, and we got Kai the Great 84. I appreciate you here, fam. I see I got your comment coming up in a second. But overall, I'm going to start by saying congratulations to Taysom Hill. He's threw two passing touchdowns. Yes, not running touchdowns, but passing touchdowns. Jared Cook looked like he got a little better, minus the one drop on 4th and 5 or 4th and 7. I should have set up for a first down to keep the drop alive. Even though he did good, I'm still a little suspect on that man. But shout out to Jared Cook. He wasn't a detriment. That didn't come back to bite the Saints in the rear. Alvin Kamara having another good day on the ground. Not a 100-yard rushing game, but it was still effective nonetheless. Latavius Murray was a little bit of a ghost today. I don't know why. It's a little concerning, but it is what it is. The offensive line did their job. Defensive line did their job. They expected Matt Ryan to hit them 3-step drops to get the balls out of his hand. That's expected. Overall, this was a solid game. It wasn't a dominating game, but it was a solid game. I'm going to start off by reiterating what I've been saying throughout the entire week leading up to the game. I did not care who won offensively, so long as the Saints won. And my take, I'm doubling down on it. I did not care. I do not care who got involved so long as people stepped up, made plays, and the Saints came away with the W. Now, y'all know how we do things here. We're going to start with the good, the bad, the ugly. The good, I'm going to rehash it again. Offensive line. The offensive line did great. Yes, there were 2 holding penalties, one by Andrews Peak, the other by Nick Easton. But they only gave up, I think, only a couple of sacks. That's still a light years that's still a very good performance. The Andrews Peak criticism, I don't really get. I spoke with TJ Jones about this a little bit last night. The heat that Andrews Peak got just because he gave up a sack when he's been playing really well throughout this entire season, I don't really understand it. Keep the same energy as TJ Jones alluded to. This dude's been playing out of his mind. And Nick Easton, he's a viable backup. Now, I don't understand why they didn't play Cesar Ruiz, because he's yet to give up not only a holding penalty, but he's yet to give up a sack so far this season, minus the one against San Francisco. He's been playing really well. I don't understand why he wasn't in rotation, but it didn't come back to haunt the Saints in the end. Offensive line still did their job. Michael Thomas had a strong game today, another 100-yard reception game. He didn't get a touchdown, but that's fine. He still helped move the ball down the field. Shout out to Michael Thomas doing what he does best. He can't guard him. Now, big shout out to Taysom Hill, man. There was a lot of questions from everybody that Taysom Hill can't be an effective quarterback now that there's film on him. He shut up a lot of critics. He converted anywhere from 2 to 3, maybe even 4 third down and longs. There was a 3rd and 16 he converted. A 3rd and 17, he converted to Michael Thomas for a gain of 18 over the sideline, a perfectly thrown ball to where only he can make a play on the ball, or otherwise it's going out of bounds. He showed poise in the pocket, and if his reads weren't there, guess what he did? He used his legs, and he extended drives. He went and ran. He scrambled. He did everything that you would expect out of a guy like Taysom Hill to do. Shout out to Taysom Hill. Now, there is some criticism, though. He's got to be better with ball security. I can't defend that, and nobody here should defend that. When you're trying to make a case of you having the capabilities to lead this franchise and towards the future after Drew Brees retires, most likely after this offseason, because those injuries he sustained, those are serious stuff. Now, as I was saying, if you're trying to make a case, like you're trying to show Sean Payton in this franchise, you can be the future. You have to have ball security. I can't state this enough that Taysom Hill leads the team and fumbles. He's lost half of those. I think he's only second behind Carson Wentz of Philadelphia. You have to be better about that. This is your either your 3rd or your 4th consecutive game to where you lost a fumble. You can't have that. You have to get better about that, especially against a underrated Philadelphia Eagles team who is top 3 in sacks. You're going to be under pressure. They're going to come at you. You have to have ball security. You're going to scramble. You're trying to run ahead of the sticks. Now, defensively, the Saints defensive line came away with 3 sacks. One by Trey Hendrickson. Yes, Trey Hendrickson came away with that sack. Not Cameron Jordan, which brings him to 10.5 on the year. Shout out to Trey Hendrickson. He's number 2 in the league so far. Only second behind T.J. Watt, who's playing out of his mind for Pittsburgh. David Onyemata, he has 7. There's a chance for this entire for 3 Saints players to come away with 10 sacks, 10 plus sacks on the year. That is a stout defensive line who was without Marcus Davenport. They did well. Matt Ryan did good at getting the ball out of his hands, 3-step drops, getting the ball out of his hands in less than 2.5 to 2.7 seconds until towards the end where he's holding the ball and came away with some big-time sacks or some big-time incompletions. I expected that, but the Saints defensive line came to play. Shout out to Demario Davis, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, and Quan Alexander holding it down out there on the edges against tight ends and against running backs. I'm not going to discredit him just because he gave up a touchdown to the likes of Russell Gage. That is a mismatch right there with a linebacker on a receiver like that. So Quan Alexander is doing really good in the assignments he's supposed to have. Marcus Williams, Marcus Williams is coming alive. Those 2 big pops, you can hear it. It is an audible hit. You love to see it. You love it. I love it. There was a lot of criticism on Marcus Williams on him not having good tackling form. Guess what? He hasn't missed a tackle since early on in the first half of the season. Shout out to Marcus Williams. He's come away with some picks. He's come away with some big time pass breakups. That hit stick to I think it was either Calvin Ridley or Russell Gage. I think it was Calvin Ridley. Yeah, it was Ridley. Shout out to Marcus Williams on that heads up play, man. In that second hit, that second boom of a hit that almost led to a fumble recovery. Marcus Williams has been playing really well. If he can continue that high level of play in the postseason, the secondary is going to look really trustworthy and really dependable against the likes of Minnesota, who we got a big test coming up against. The likes of Justin Jefferson, who's already proven to be the undisputed rookie of the year. He's a big vertical threat. So, and you have Adam Thielen the opposite of him. That's going to be a tough matchup. But that's not until probably a couple weeks down the road. We still have Philadelphia. We still have Kansas City coming up. A big test at home. Probably going to be game of the year. That's also the projection for Drew Brees to come back. Special teams did okay. They did enough. But without the likes of Deontay Harris or Marquez Callaway returning punts, fielding punts, Tommy Lee Lewis did his thing, man. He didn't do like he's not a Deontay Harris or a Marquez Callaway, but he's still fast. He's still able to get 5 to 10 yards on punt returns or kick returns. He held it down. So shout out to Tommy Lee Lewis. I don't know what he was thinking of when Taysom Hill threw that shot down the field to Tommy Lee Lewis in double coverage. You're not getting that call, man. You're not getting that call. I don't know what you're thinking. I'm gonna need you to stop that. But like I said, shout out to Tommy Lee Lewis. He did enough. He managed these special teams. So overall, I give this Saints team a solid C. I'm going to double down on my take of solid C. There's a lot of concern. Now, granted, they were out Patrick Robinson. He went out midway through the first quarter because of that handshake he suffered late in the practice week. I think it was either a Thursday or a Friday practice. He came down with it. He was questionable, but he did manage to do what he could. So, who do we see replace Patrick Robinson? PJ Williams. Oh man, PJ Williams in man coverage against Julio Jones. You don't want that kind of matchup. I don't know who thought that was a good idea, but Dennis Allen, that you don't do that ever again. Do not do that ever again. Don't have him on an island trying to play with some of these top end receivers, these top 2 receivers. You're asking for trouble. And Matt Ryan picked them apart. Julio Jones took this man's lunch. Holdings and defensive pass interferences, that's something you don't want. Now, granted, they were a little undermanned, so Marshawn Lattimore had more on his plate. Was trying to cover the likes of Calvin Ridley, who has him beat in terms of. Excuse me, I have a phone call. Nope, not going to answer it. But you have the likes of Calvin Ridley. That's not good. Marshawn Lattimore and Calvin Ridley are a mismatch. Calvin Ridley is one of the better route runners and strong hands. Even though Marshawn Lattimore had some tight coverage, as when I look back at the film and look at some other outside opinions, at the end of the day, Marshawn Lattimore did what he could, man. He had some tight coverage, and Calvin Ridley just had a better play on the ball. So shout out to the Saints secondary for holding on to a 21-16 win. Let's go ahead and get into some of these comments here. We got Tara. Shout out to Tara. She was here earlier. I think she's still watching TJ Jones. TJ Jones is a good guy, man. He has some great knowledge, great understanding of the game, complementary football, fundamental football. That IQ is up there. I'm surprised he's not he's not campaigning to be a coach somewhere in the league with how knowledgeable he is of the game. We got Kyler Gray saying it got ugly at the end, but anyone against the Falcons is always sweet. Absolutely, man. It's always sweet. Look, you're not going to have these type of shutout performances against the Atlanta Falcons. Okay, they're your most heated rival. TJ Jones thinks that they're not so much a rival anymore. Honestly, he has some merit to that, but I think a little differently because when you look at the stretches on the last couple of games, these guys either the Saints are coming back late in the fourth or Atlanta's coming back late in the fourth. It's always a nail biter towards the end, and that's what makes this rivalry so exciting to watch. So I still think Atlanta is a good rival, but I don't think they'll have anything on this current Sean Payton-led Saints team. Now, kind of great. He also says, we got the Eagles next Sunday. We win, and the division is ours. Now, that's a game I'm not too concerned about in terms of Philadelphia offense. We've seen what the Philadelphia offense looked under Carson Wentz. We've seen a little bit of what it can be under Jalen Hurts. They rallied a little bit before Aaron Jones put the game on ice with that touchdown run. So shout out to Aaron Jones. He's doing his thing over there. But look, I'm not too worried about Philadelphia offensively. Saints defensive line is going to feast on whoever is back there, whether it be Carson Wentz or Jalen Hurts. Okay, that offensive line is not that good. I think the Saints defense is going to come away with 4 sacks. 4 sacks under those conditions. One by Cameron Jordan off the edge. One by Trey Henderson to close the gap. I think TJ Watt's going to have a couple of sacks. They're going to widen that sack lead even further. But Trey Henderson is going to come in with 2 sacks. You heard it here first. He's going to come in with 2 sacks. David Onyemata is going to get a sack. That's 4 sacks right there. Okay, so I think. But defensively for the Philadelphia Eagles, it's all about endurance. If you can weather that, early assault by that pass rush led by Fletcher Cox and I think Brandon Graham and the like, you're going to be fine. Now, Jerry Poor coming here saying, good morning, who that is. Good morning to you, Jerry. What's going on with your brother? Jerry Poor has a very, very passionate mindset with the New Orleans Saints, everybody. If you tune in to WD and Chatline podcast, I was waiting in there, waiting for my turn. Jerry Poor done laid it on thick on a Bucs fan. This man's a diehard Saint, man. A diehard Saint. Much love to you, Jerry. Never change, brother. Never change. He also went on to say, good morning, everybody. He's shouting out everybody. He see 11-2 on Sunday. I definitely see a 11-2 Sunday. The Saints clinching the division for the fourth straight year. I don't think the Philadelphia Eagles or Doug Peterson have enough in them to really pull out an upset against the Saints team. Now we look at who they could be getting back. We could potentially see Janoris Jenkins start to practice this week. He didn't practice last week because of that knee injury he suffered. I think it's a sprained MCL or was I shut the rankings, but it's a knee injury. He could come back as limited. Could be seen as questionable depending on how he progresses. Excuse me. He progresses throughout this week. We could see Deontay Harris back. That's going to be big for special teams in terms of kick returns and punt returns. You have possibly Teron Armstead coming back, which is going to really solidify that offensive line even further. We could also see Cesar Ruiz come back with the likes of Teron Armstead. You have Kai DeGray saying, Jerry, what's good, player? This is my community. We're coming up steadily. I love it, guys. You guys are here supporting yours truly. It's not that bit of a podcast, as you can see. I'm in my own cave, man. I'm in my own cave. But in terms of what my final thoughts, this Saints team right now, has made itself a case. Penalties aside, they still only give up one touchdown. After what Atlanta did to Las Vegas Raiders, who I think is overrated. They barely escaped the win over the New York Jets. I think they gave away that game. But I think that game against Atlanta, I think they're just overrated, man. But like I said, the Saints team overall has made itself a case to be the number one team in the NFC. Despite the shaky performance, despite being out Jack Rabbit and Patrick Robinson, they only gave away one touchdown. It was still a 21-16 win. A 21-16 win. Shout out to them, man. Like, if they can just clean up what they need to clean up, if they can have the type of success they're having now in the postseason, we are definitely seeing a number one team in all NFL and Super Bowl champions. Okay, that's something promising. Now, I'm keeping my expectations low. Why? Because we know how snake-bitten the Saints team is in the postseason over the last 3 years. I don't need to remind y'all. Okay? I'm not taking any calls this morning. It's just to get my final thoughts and opinions out there. It's a little bit of a semi-short. I want to keep it under 25 minutes. Let's see how Taysom Hill does in cold conditions this Sunday against the Philadelphia Eagles. I think it's going to come away with another 2-touchdown passing game. Excuse me. But that's it. That's all for right now, man. I urge y'all to go check out TJ Jones. He could still be calling people over there. He might be taking calls. Your show is going to be over there in a little bit. And I just woke up not too long ago. I just wanted to get this video out there. Support the stream. If y'all want to support the stream, like, comment, go ahead and share the stream around to your friends. Share my podcast channel around with your friends. Even if they're not Saints fans, man. It's all love over here. No matter what team you're representing, no matter what colors you're flying, it's all love over here. I don't care if you're repping the Falcons. I don't care if you're repping the Panthers. I don't care if you're repping the 49ers. Let's talk football. I love talking football. This is what I love to do. Now, if you want to donate to the stream, my PayPal link is in the description. My Facebook is linked in the description at facebook.com/stateofblackandgold. My Twitter handle is linked in the description at Real Aaron Davis. The kind of great 84 says running the ball, playing good defense is the right recipe for a championship team. Absolutely, my man. Look, whether it be Latavius Murray breaking out for over 100 yards, whether it be Alvin Kamara breaking out for nearly 100 yards, I don't care. The fact of the matter is, this Saints team needs to have a balanced run game. You're absolutely right. They don't need to have over 100 yards rushing to be effective, okay? It's all about efficiency. I'm not worried about so much about stats. And neither is Alvin Kamara, neither is Latavius Murray. It's winning games. Whether you can win games, being effective on a run, you can. If you average over 4.5 to 5 points to 5 yards per carry, look, man, I don't care if you break for 70 or over 100. Just have over 4.5 yards per carry on the ground. If you have one last look here, Chanel. Some loser says, love the halftime show yesterday. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm going to have more of those halftime shows for you guys. I'm also thinking about doing a lot live reactions. I might be doing more live reactions. I'll do a poll later on this week on if you guys want to see more live time reactions during the games. Look out for the polls on my Twitter. At my Twitter at Real Aaron Davis. Like I said, that Twitter handle is in the description. Come show, look, man, a lot of things are coming. A lot of things are coming this way, and I'm so blessed. I'm so blessed to have you guys here. But that's it. That's all. I'm not taking any calls today, like I said. Later on this week, most likely Wednesday, I'm shooting for Wednesday to be my next little keys to winning against the Philadelphia Eagles after that first injury report, and then we're going to follow up Saturday with the pregame show. I'm not doing Fridays anymore. I'm doing Saturdays for pregame shows because the WDN Chatline podcast have their pregame shows on Friday, and I want to spread the wealth around to everybody else. Okay, so go follow them. At WDN Chatline podcast on YouTube. Go State of the Saints podcast for TJ Jones on YouTube. You also can follow him, TJ Jones, at State of Saints on Twitter. I want to share the love, man. I want to share the love. So look out for Wednesday. Look out for Saturday for pregame show. And remember, if you don't know, you will know now that we bleed black and gold until we are dead and cold. I will see you guys Wednesday. Deuces.